Hey fam, welcome back to Love Restored. I am your host, Marshaun Olaniyan, and I'm super excited to be back here because we are in this period of lessons. All this season, I am going to be discussing the lessons that I learned, and I'm trying to see if we're going to get some special guests in here this particular season as well. So, the lessons. So, this particular week, we are discussing the 10. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lessons that I learned by giving away my body too quickly. Yes, I am talking about sex. I am talking about giving away this precious body, my precious jewel, way too quickly before I even realized what was actually happening with my life, which is why I started Love Restored, as well as why I started coaching individuals, specifically Black women outside of Love Restored. I started Love Restored because this is a place where we are telling our story our way, right? Many of you, like myself, did not grow up with the tools, the strategies, the information, anything to feed love, to feed life into yourself, as well as how to choose a mate, how to be in a marriage, how to be in a relationship, right? Why loving yourself is so important first, why getting to know yourself is so important first, and slowing down so you can really get to know the person and see the person for who they are, how they're actually showing up, like all of these intricate details that it takes to be in a successful relationship and definitely a successful marriage. We're learning all of this stuff after the fact. And so my goal is, if you have yet to be married, and or if you're in a relationship, and if you are a divorcee, that now you can pick up the pieces, take the tools, utilize the information that you are getting here so you can implement it into your life, so you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Because here's the thing that I truly believe: it is that the things that you go through are not necessarily for you. And so, if you don't have to experience a divorce like myself, if you are not a part of this group of people who gave away their body too quickly, not realizing all of the implications and just the stuff that comes along with it, then congratulations, you are in the minority. And I know a lot more people want to be in that minority, but we can't reverse time. So I want to impart this information to you so you don't have to go down the same road as me. It's very important that I, using my voice, using this platform, to come here and share my ups and downs, my woes, the things that I learned, so you can take them from me. And if you're anything like me, then you don't have to get beat upside the head in order to learn the lesson. You can learn the lesson through somebody else's story. That's how I learn. You don't have to tell me a whole bunch of stuff. I do not have to experience a whole lot of stuff in order to get the lesson. I want to get your lesson. Okay. So if you have a platform, right, I want to listen to your story and receive your lesson, so I don't have to experience your lesson. I can hear it, I can take it in, I can watch for the things that you mentioned, and then I can go about the business of living my life and avoiding the same things that you went through. So it doesn't have to be a part of my story, but I still know the information, I still have the lesson. With that being said, before we jump into the 10 lessons that I learned, as I mentioned, you are watching KCCR, The Brownstone. I am your host, Marshaun Olaniyan. If you have yet to download KCCR, sis, you must go ahead and download KCCR on all of your smart devices. So it's not just your cell phone, right? It could be on your computer. It's on your cell phone. It's on your tablet or iPad and anything else in between. Go ahead and download those things, because then you'll be able to keep up with KCCR, the Brownstone, as well as Brownstone Worldwide. And then we have something very new here at Brownstone, which is Brownstone Living. It is the magazine. So I want you to go ahead and download them all on your smart devices so you can take part of what's actually happening here, as well as keep up with all of the beautiful personalities that are a part of this particular platform. Because as I mentioned, we are telling our story our way. Now let's jump into these 10 lessons that me, your host, Marshaun Olaniyan, experienced. Lesson number one is that whenever I gave away my body too quickly, I noticed that I would get emotionally attached to the man like that. Yes, like that. Because, and I'm not gonna go too deep into it because that's not my area. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but I do know that there are soul ties that come into play when we're giving away our bodies, right? When we are saying yes to the experience, and we have that experience. So now, because I am the receiver, so women are receiver, men are the giver, right? Because the men actually enter, right? So because I'm the receiver, I am receiving a tiny piece of him. It stays with me. So we have a soul tie that is being formed, and now he is within me, right? Literally and figuratively. So I would get emotionally attached way too soon before I knew anything about this person, or at least on a deeper level. I'm not going to say that I was out here just willy nilly with any and everybody, but I know as far as the time frame that I'm specifically talking about, it's the time frame when I was deciding that, hey, I'm grown, I'm going to do what I want to do and all this other stuff, not realizing that all of this baggage, not realizing that all of this baggage that I was going to carry around later on was upon me. So, lesson number one that I got from giving away my body too quickly is that I would become emotionally attached way too quickly. It's like ridiculous. Now, if you can relate to that, you put your hand up. You can give me a thumbs up down in the comment section, because I understand. I understand that. I know that I'm not alone, because I've had these conversations with my really close girlfriends, and we all had our hand up. So I know if my small group of girlfriends have done this, then a larger majority of the population has done this, which is giving away their body too quickly. And the regret, or even the shame, the voices, the beating up on yourself afterwards definitely plays a part in all of that stuff, right? So giving away my body too quickly, I became emotionally attached way too quickly. The second thing, and the second lesson that I learned, is I believed we were in a relationship when in fact it may have just been sex to him. Now, was this the case for every man? Absolutely not. But it was enough men for me to realize, Marshaun, you were not in a relationship. And why is that? It was because we didn't have a conversation about a relationship. I was sexually attracted to him, and he was sexually attracted to me, and we took care of business in that area. But we didn't have a conversation about where this was going, if we were going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Definitely nothing deeper past girlfriend and boyfriend. We were in the moment. We acted in that moment. And again, because me, didn't slow down. I can't talk for him. I can talk for me. Because I didn't slow things down and try to get to know him more and see where his head was and what was he thinking as far as his life, where was he going in his life. Because I didn't slow it down, then I had to pay the price by believing, air quotes if you're listening to this, believing that we were in a relationship when in fact we absolutely were not, because a conversation never took place. Which leads me to the next point, which is point number three. I stopped looking at and or evaluating his flaws slash the red flags that were coming up. Like after we had sex, it was the slowing down of the text being returned, or slowing down of the calls being returned, or slowing down of making sure that that dates were in place. So a lot of those things slowed down significantly, and some of them even came to a literally a stop, a halt. There was none anymore. And so then I had to deal with, well, did I do that too fast? I mean, they said it, because I'm grown, but all of this, all of this chit chatter was in my head, and I had to deal with the consequences, because that's exactly what it is, right? I did something, and now the consequences because I did something. And for me, in this particular case, it was having sex too soon. I was giving away my body a little too fast, and I had to deal with that. I had to deal with not paying attention to the red flags and the flaws. And then I was also trying to reach out too much. I was no longer as unavailable as I was previously to having sex. After sex, now I was clung on him. I was a much clingier after sex, which is where some of the emotional baggage came from as well. So I stopped evaluating the flaws, and I was seeing what I wanted to see, or I wasn't seeing what was actually in front of me. Maybe I still have my rose-colored glasses on. I don't know, but I do know, as far as evaluating this is a red flag. I need to walk away. It was more so, we'll deal with that later. Or maybe I was even thinking he'll change that stuff, not realizing that the red flags, when they appear, that we should pay 1,000% attention to them. Because when you don't pay attention to the things, the red flags or the flaws or the things that can really um, destroy your life later on, and having regrets later on, ending in a divorce or ending in a breakup. That's why a lot of those things come to pass, because we're ignoring these things. And even in some of my case, some of it I wasn't necessarily ignoring it. I didn't realize it was a red flag because, again, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't even realize that people were out here imparting this knowledge. I didn't grow up in a community where therapists were at the ready, or me knowing that I should go and speak to someone, and or even like the coaching industry wasn't necessarily around as big as it is now. And so I had to figure all these things out on my lonesome. Had to figure them out. This wasn't a conversation that I was going to my parents to have with them to try to figure things out, because again, I'm I know what I'm doing. I'm old enough to be up in a relationship. I'm old enough to know that this is my body and I'm able to give it away whoever I want to give it away to. You know how we do? And because I thought I knew it all in this particular area, I had to deal with what came with that. So some of it is I didn't realize that some of the things that were happening were red flags. But then those things that I did know were red flags, I might have swept them up under the rug or thought that they were just going to go away miraculously, like a lot of us do. Yes, I was young, but I don't always want to put it on my age, right? I have to literally take responsibility for my life and the way that I am navigating through my life, which is why I'm imparting these lessons here to you, because I want you to take responsibility for your own life as well and the decisions that you made as well. So, red flags, didn't pay attention. Lesson number 5 is that I acted more like his girlfriend, and even sometimes as his wife, more than he deserved. Like when I would go to the store, and this wasn't necessarily just one, this was a pattern that I noticed for me from me. I would go to the store, send a text or call, hey, you want me to get X, Y, and Z? Or I would see a gift and I'm like, oh, I think this would look nice on him, or cologne or whatever the thing was. I was like, oh, okay, let me do that. Or I would call and, I'm coming over. Do you want X, Y, and Z? Or I cooked. I cooked. Do you want me to bring some of the food? Or are you coming over because I cooked? Like it was a whole bunch of wifely things, and again, even girlfriend things, because there was no title. If you keeping up with the story, the men that I'm speaking about, it was no title in there. So I was doing a whole lot of girlfriend slash wife things that him did not deserve. So pay attention if you're acting like a girlfriend or a wife and you do not have a title. Got to pay attention to that. Lesson number 6 that I learned is that I stopped trying to get to know him. I stopped asking the questions. I stopped trying to get to really know the real man that was in front of me. His likes, his dislikes, his trauma, his baggage, how many kids. I would always ask about the wife and the living situation, so that wasn't there. So I did ask some question. It just wasn't enough questions. And like I said, they either stalled or stopped, which brings me to point number 7. Why did it stall or stop? It stalled or stopped the getting to know phase, because once we kind of got in the rhythm of having sex, and especially good sex, most, if not all, of the encounters, the next several, I don't have a number, but the next several encounters was strictly about sex. So again, I don't have a title. I'm not a girlfriend. I'm not a wife. I'm acting as if I'm a girlfriend or wife by gifts and food, and maybe even like if he was over and I was doing laundry, I would do laundry, right? His included. So I was acting with no title. There was no conversation about where we were going next step. I was assuming that we were on the same page. Again, flag for myself. Throw the no, can't assume nothing. We have to be adults and have these conversations. And I didn't realize everything that comes with it. Being in a healthy relationship, knowing how to show up, knowing what questions to ask. Like I have this client right now, and we've been talking about conversations like this and just giving away your body too soon, and how, if we could turn back the hands of time, how we would do things differently. And we can't now, right? We can't now. And so now we have to take responsibility for how we are creating our life, and obviously stop doing that, right? But then also figure out the roots, and why did we start doing this stuff in the first place. And in some of my clients' stories is because their innocence was stolen, and others, we just didn't know because if you're anything like me, or if you have a story similar to mine, because I'm a preacher's kid, a PK, there was not really a lot of talks about relationships, and definitely not sex. It was one of those things where a lot of us experience that is never talked about, or swept under the rug, or if you go and ask conversations about these particular subjects, then your parents either shy away from them, or they can't give you a real answer, and you're kind of just like, what is actually happening? So you end up trying to ask your peers who don't know no information. Like, y'all all got the same information, or maybe you got an older sibling or something, you heard something, but it's not your experience. And so we're getting all of this mucky, yucky information from our peers. And at the time that I'm speaking about, I was a teenager in my 20s, like, so teenager 20s, even sometimes in my 30s. And so I'm getting this information from my peers, and they don't know. I don't know. They don't know. We don't know. So we out here trying to figure out all this stuff, and it's exhausting. And then we're wondering why things are not working out. And we were actively searching for love in the wrong place, because many of us didn't love ourselves. Many of us had low self-esteem, or uh, low confidence. And so when you don't have high self-esteem, when you don't have high confidence, and when you don't have a clue about how to date, be in a relationship, and all that stuff, here's when you bump your head many a time. And unfortunately, figuring it out this way is a sucky way. Like, let's be real. It's not fun. It's not fun out there trying to figure this thing out. And because you are searching for love outside of yourself, because most of us are struggling with our inner love and our inner self. And if somebody was to come up to you and ask you who you are, most people talk about the career or their parent, mom, dad. I'm the mother of, I work at, or I am, like, physician, firefighter, whatever, right? So most of us talk about who we are and how many, instead of like our characteristics and the things that make us us. Because me, I'm super goofy. I'm a big goofball, and I love it. I'm a big laugher. Yeah, I'm a big laugher. I laugh all the time, right? But I'm also highly intelligent. I am. I have a lot of integrity. When I say I'm gonna do something, I actually do it. I don't break my promises. Like, there are other things in other areas, characteristics and things that we need to be bringing to the table, where most of us usually say, I'm a mom. I am a mom, sure, you know, but that's not necessarily who I am. It's a piece of who I am, but most of us say that's who we are, and we kind of stick with that. And I was about to go down the rabbit hole, but it don't matter. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. What I am gonna do is pay some of these bills, y'all. You are listening to KCCR, the Brownstone. I am your host, Marshaun Olaniyan, and we are on Love Restored today. It is so important that we actually do restore the love that we have for ourselves, because there's no way that you can receive love if you're not able to love yourself, number one, and then be able to give love. So there's two parts to every person. We have to be able to receive love from somebody else as well as be able to give love. And if you don't love yourself, if you have no clue who you are and you have low self-esteem and low confidence, you are not able to receive love. And so the bigger picture is you believe that you're able to give love, but you're not able to give love as much as you think. Right? So KCCR, the brownstone, if you have yet to download if you have yet to download the app on all of your smart devices, then I want you to go ahead and do that, because this is the way that you're going to be able to keep up with me here on Love Restore, as well as all of the other beautiful personalities, because we got some people that are on here now, right, including myself. And then we also have some other beautiful personalities that will be added, because it is a community of people that look like me, that look like you, because we are on here telling our story our way. And we want you to be plugged in with the family, right? We want you to be on the block with us and be able to rock with us and understand exactly what's going on. But I also, if you're just now coming in, I also want to make sure that you know about Brownstone Living. What is Brownstone Living? What is Brownstone Living? Brownstone Living is the newest addition to the Brownstone family, which is the magazine. It's the digital magazine. It's beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to put my affiliate link down below. And I want to say it's affiliate link because when you decide to sign up, I will receive a small portion of your purchase. But it's so small, y'all. You are not going to be a part of any magazine. Full spread magazine for this price. It is $5.99 per month. $5.99 per month. You will not be able to beat that. Again, from people that look like you, everybody in there look like you, and the magazine is beautiful. So if you want to take advantage of that, I'm going to put my affiliate link down below, and then, or in the show notes, wherever, and then make sure that you click on that so you can be a part of the family monthly. And so when you sign up, what's going to actually happen is you're going to get last month's issue as well as this month's issue. So for your first month, you're going to get 2 magazines for the price of 1. Like, come on, come on, come on. And also, if you want to keep up with me outside of Love Restored, then go to www.marshauno.com. Again, that's www.marshauno.com. And you can find me on most of the platforms at Marshaun_O. Again, that's Marshaun_O. So follow me there as well. Hit me up. You'll find my email and ways to get in contact with me. If you want some coaching outside, if you want coaching outside of this, you'll find all of that on my website. Again, that's www.marshauno.com. Now, let's jump back into this. Number 8. We're on number 8, y'all. Lesson number 8 that I've learned is that my feelings always got hurt, whether it was intentional or unintentional. Didn't matter. My feelings always got hurt. I'm not saying that I wasn't a person that hurt feelings at some point, but I know I'm talking about me, and it's my life. This is my story. What I do know is that I experienced more hurt feelings than I did not, by not slowing down and giving away my body too soon. Like, that's it. It's just giving away my body too soon. And it was also because I didn't know, but I also didn't love myself enough to say no. And not because he was pressuring me, although I probably did feel pressured in some instance, but it wasn't necessarily from the pressure. It was more because I wanted to be loved. And I felt like if I didn't give my body to him, then he wasn't going to stay around, which is lesson number 9. Lesson number 9 is that I figured it out. I didn't have to give away my body in order to get him to love me, in order for him to accept me, in order to keep him around. I didn't have to do that, but unfortunately, I learned that lesson later than I would have liked to have learned said lesson. I wish I'd have learned that sooner, but I didn't, which is why I'm here to impart it to you so you can learn it sooner than later, especially if you are someone that is just starting to date and you have not had sex or a lot of sex, right? So I really want to impart this information to you because I want you to hear what I'm saying, but hear it so you can use it for you. When people try to pressure you specifically into having sex you because of your insecurities or your fears are coming and getting in the way, and you believe that the only way to keep this person around is to have sex with them, I'm here to tell you, you do not have to do that. If you're feeling pressured to give your body away to this person in order to keep them, that literally is your sign to say you need to back up and maybe even back off and just go in the other direction. Because when you're in a healthy, loving, beautiful relationship, you do not feel pressured. It is something that you actually want to do. It is like a natural progression because you two feel so connected. And in the beginning, we do feel a bit connected because you are starting to ask questions and you're getting to know this person, and there's a lot more laughter in the beginning. But I'm telling you, because we introduce sex too soon, because as I mentioned before, I haven't been the only one that's done this. And I'm at the friends that I'm specifically talking about, I didn't grow up with these friends. So just imagine, we're all from different parts of the state or even the world and even different countries, and we've all done the same thing. And I know it's not just my small group. I know it's not, right? So if we could slow down and stop feeling like I'm going to lose this person if I don't give my body away to him, then could be better off. You'll be better off by knowing that you're worth the wait. And it doesn't have to be the wait with him, right? It could be the wait with your real man, the one that's for you. The 10th and final lesson that I learned by giving away my body too quickly was that I looked desperate because I was applying the pressure on the man to now choose me as his girlfriend, because I was so desperate to get the title, because I was, at least a little bit, yeah, at least a little bit, I felt entitled to get the title as his girlfriend because I made the decisions, and then I wanted him to make a decision or to choose me, when in fact I needed to be the first one to choose me, and I didn't. So I can't blame any man that I'm specifically thinking about. It's all coming back to me, all of it. Nobody put a gun to my head. Nobody did me dirty in that way. Nobody took it from me. Thank God, because, you know, that happens. Nobody took it from me. I willingly gave it. And I wish that I would have slowed down and got to know Marshaun and understood how important it is to know Marshaun before jumping into bed with fill in the blank name, because it doesn't matter about the name. This is all for you, so you can get a better understanding of the way that you are showing up, and so we can cut out all of that blaming, so we can really take responsibility for how we're showing up and the things that we're doing and the things that we are not doing, so we can literally stop pointing the finger at other people, i.e. your partner, or you being in a situationship. Maybe you didn't have the conversation, whatever the thing is. We, including you, have to take responsibility for your life, the way that you're showing up in your life, and the things that you do that you're not so proud of. That's a part of your life. The things that you may feel like you missed out on because of the choices that you made. All of that is you. Just like me, I'm talking about these 10 lessons here today. These are my lessons. But I know that I'm not alone in some of these lessons, right? May not be all 10 that you've experienced, but you've experienced some. And so I'm just here to share with you that you don't have to go down this same road if you have yet to be there. And if you have been down this road, just know that that's okay too. Because I'm okay. I'm here sharing and airing my dirty laundry right now. It's okay though. It's okay. So just know that it's okay. I love you guys, and there's nothing that you can do about it. I am Marshaun Olaniyan. You are listening to KCCR, the Brownstone. And listen, y'all, it's been a pleasure for these last 30 minutes. I just want to thank you for being here with me, because you could have chose to be anywhere else and you chose to sit here and listen to me in your car, while you're working out, while you walking, or while you just sitting there watching your kids play. Know that you have the power to change your life around. You have the power to do that, because I totally did. These were lessons, which means I learned from them, which means I don't do this mess no more. All of that means. And I want you to be able to have the same story. I love you guys, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And I will see you on the next Love Restored, where we're talking about some other lessons.